So Saudi Arabia is to terminate its 50-year-old petrodollar deal with the United States. Guys, this is Fernando doing another video for the Modern Survivalist, and I know exactly how these sort of things turn out. I've gone through this myself, wrote about it in Surviving the Economic Collapse based on my experience going through just that in Argentina, and what they end up doing is printing more. You will never beat a printer. This process by which they print more money when the money starts losing even more value, when it's not being used by Saudi Arabia, when the PetroDollar deal ends, the solution is what? Well, we'll just print more of it. We have no limits to how much money we can print. This process only impoverishes those that use said dollar and transfers that wealth to those printing those dollars. Pretty simple, pretty twisted and evil mechanism, by the way. But let's listen to what the mainstream media that is in their pockets has to say.
Saudi Arabia has decided to terminate its 50-year-old petrodollar agreement with the United States. As per reports, the deal was signed on June 8, 1974, but has expired on June 9, 2024, and the Middle East country has not renewed it. Petrodollar is a term used as the US dollar as the currency for global crude oil transactions. The petrodollar system came in after US went off the gold standards. The deal was set up joint commissions for economic cooperation and Saudi Arabia's military needs. In exchange for guaranteeing the security of the Saudi regime and providing military aid, Saudi Arabia agreed to price its oil exports exclusively in US dollars. This agreement ensured a steady demand for the US dollars as other countries needed dollars to purchase oil, effectively reinforcing the dollar's status as the world's primary reserve currency.
It is the end of an era. It is the end of the idea of if you want to buy oil, you need to use our money because you only can pay for that in US dollars. This just makes a huge dent in the value of the US dollar when it's no longer needed to buy petrol. You don't need it to buy oil anymore. Okay, that's massive. And maybe you won't see the impact right away. I mean, the dollar is already being... How much money are they printing? Where is this ending? The more poverty you see, the more you see the US middle class drop in their purchasing power and their quality of life. It's all linked to this. This is the same thing, but in a slow slide process. What happened in Argentina in a very accelerated manner, not specifically when the economy collapsed, but the time that came after that, in which they said, okay, yeah, we now start printing money like crazy. You print money, you steal from people. It is that simple. That's what they're doing. That's what they've been doing all along for a while now, but it's becoming even worse in these current times.
But with the changing dynamics, what it does now is that it enables Saudi Arabia to sell oil and other goods in multiple currencies, including the euros, the yen and the yuan. In any case, the rise of the renewables and natural gas have been steadily reducing the world's reliance on oil and even
they're just lovely at times. CNBC, of course, who needs oil?
Oil-rich countries like Saudi Arabia have evolved. This is also emergence of the new oil-producing nations such as Brazil and Canada, which have challenged the traditional dominance of Middle East. So from nearly 80% of global oil sales are priced in US dollar, countries like Russia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, China and others are increasingly shifting to local currencies in energy trade. In 2023, 20% of global oil was bought in other currencies as per the Wall Street Journal. While the markets are still trying to understand the full implications of an international trade, whether there would be a global...
Really? They really need to try to understand how this impacts the value of the US dollar when the PetroDollar deal ends after 50 years. They'll kind of like put together all of those little dots. Okay.
Currency realignment and finance from this. Would it lead to more currency volatility? But the end of it all is, remember, that the Saudi Riyal, as is the case with many other currencies, are still pegged to the US dollar.
What? By the way, why is it that they have that, what is it, like an Indian woman with a very strong Indian accent? Wouldn't you have someone, I mean, no joking, but find someone that speaks very clear English. I don't care where that person is from or what, background, but come on. I mean, it is CNBC. Can you find someone that speaks clear English instead of a very strong accent that at times it's difficult to even understand? I mean, I have my own accent. I get that. But hell, I'm not working for CNBC. I'm not communicating in the English language professionally in a mainstream media outlet. But hey, that's the crazy world in which we live in. Guys, the end of the petrodollar is a huge deal. No, it's not confusing. There's no mystery about how this will impact. It will make it weaker. The US dollar will become weaker. The response will be same old same of, we'll just print even more of it. And that impoverish everyone using the US dollar even more. So keep all of this in mind. Prepare while you still can. As I always say, you have my books. Specifically for this sort of thing, man, this is Argentina in slow motion. So get yourselves through survival skills and surviving the economic collapse. Both of these will be pretty helpful in navigating the waters in which we are heading. Guys, see you next time.